numbers of students that are already here in this platform. Okay, not everyone here yet. Not everyone here yet. Okay, while waiting for the rest of the students to join us today, let me just brief first what we're going to do today. Right? If you still recall last week chapter we still had not complete. Am I right? We still have another two subtopics. To complete. Yeah, to complete in relations to radio frequency fundamentals. Okay. So let me just continue the last two subtopics of last week chapter, that is radio frequency fundamentals, and then followed with quizzes, activities related to that radio frequency fundamentals. And after we complete that activities, then the last one will be continue the fourth chapter. Yeah, the fourth chapter, that is wireless LAN terminology and technology. And for your information, yeah, your test, class test, that is 20% of this module in course contribution will be provided after mid-semester break. So now currently you are in week number 5. Mid-semester break normally after week 7. Yeah, so no issue. We should able to complete another 2 more chapters, that is wireless LAN terminology and technology, and then followed with the last chapters of wireless LAN security. I repeat, the last chapter for test, that is wireless LAN security before our mid-semester break. Okay. So after your mid-semester break, of course, I'm not going to have the test immediately, all right? Because when you're back from your mid-semester break, if I have it immediately, it will be kind of torture to all of you. So normally I have like 1 or 2 weeks in between, then we have the test, right? But don't worry, I will ask for majority vote. Yeah, I will ask all of you when the test will be, because the situation of this module, this class, is actually not only having one specialism. We're having several specialism from IoT, ISS, you know, and then cyber security, etc. And then we have this mobile technology as well, and that's the reason why I need to ask, because I do not want later on some of you actually having too many commitments in certain weeks. So if too many commitments, not good as well for me to provide tests on that particular week. All right, so I will ask you, don't worry. Okay, so in other words, for your information, we are actually left another 2 more chapters. 2 more chapters, but today I'm going to complete the chapters related to last week. 2 more chapters which I'm going to start as well today, and then the last chapter next week for the test. I'm not talking about final exam. All right, okay, so let me just share. I will share the attendance later on before the quizzes. Okay, so let me just share the what we call this, the lecture slides related to the last week. Related to the last week. Radio frequency fundamental. Okay. Then followed with quizzes. Oops. All right, there you go. Okay, last week we stopped until coverage and capacity. We had settled coverage and capacity. So today we're going to continue with basic units of radio frequency measurements and also radio frequency range and speed. Right? All right. For the basic unit of radio frequency measurement, you are not a computer engineering students. Okay, so the expectation is not too much. We are not actually asked the very technical side of the radio frequency measurement. So it's good enough just this one slide for you to understand, in order for you to understand the basic unit radio frequency measurement, because we will ask you in relations to your assignment how you're going to investigate How you're going to investigate the hardware available in the current site, the hardware available in your, in your wireless LAN infrastructure. Maybe you have router, yeah, you have this, you have wireless router, you have this access point, and even you're having switch, for example. Okay, so when you look at any of these devices, for example here, example given here, like access point, the output, the output power had been set is up to 30 milliwatts. All right, 30 milliwatts. So milliwatt is 1 upon 1000 watt. So it means that this 30 milliwatt is actually what you need to see. I need you to investigate. Is it the power consumes so much energy? All right, consumes so much energy, then it may lead to the issue of having high utility bills, high electricity bills in your house. Okay, so that's the reason why some houses they are not actually go for certain product, certain access point that consume high milliwatt powers of their access point, the output power, because it may leads to the high utility bills. So you ask yourself again, how many access point I want to have in the site, or how many already you have in the site, and you need to check how much bill you need to pay for every month. And then when it comes to additional numbers of access point, when you want to have it in future, of course more numbers of amount of utility bills that you need to pay. So that's the reason why when you look at certain product, look at the output power as well. And for your information, the good thing about hardware nowadays, they even go for the save energy kind of power product, or a product that having saving any save energy kind of product. So where you can consider into your recommendation as well. All right. So again, if you look at other unit measurement, it's not only involve milliwatts, milliwatts in terms of output power. There are certain product you hardly to see milliwatts. Maybe they have only dB, decibel, all right? Decibel, dBi, dBd, and dBm. Actually, dBi, dBd, dBm is not that really important. Normally we just look at decibel. Unless if you're a computer engineering student, we need to analyze in terms of energy. Normally like for electrical engineering students, right, they will do this kind of calculation. And that's the reason as well, for your information, we have many of our computer, not only computer engineering, electrical engineering student that is not from computing school or school of technology. They are from engineering school. Actually, they do not have problem to go into our school of technology and also to go into our school of computing in order to learn of this, because they already understand the concept. All right, but in your case, we're not going to penalize you to go at the very level of electrical engineering stuff. This one is actually more on physics, because our minimum requirement when you enter to our degree level, we are not making it compulsory. We're not making it compulsory that you must actually learn physics. Am I right? Not like my time. My time is different. If we want to learn computer, we must be from science stream. Must have maths. That is my time. But your time is different. That's why we can see some students, they do not learn physics, but they got opportunity to learn all of this. Some of them, yes, they can cope. Some of them, they suffer, because they never learned it before. All right. So that's basically, I want to mention about these slides in relations to our assignment. Okay. Not to be asked during test and exam. And the last topic is radio frequency, range, and speed. Radio frequency, range, and speed. If you got questions, please ask. If you got question, please ask. So proceed with radio frequency, range, and speed. For radio frequency, range, and speed, okay, you need to understand how far and how fast is it. Radio frequency can travel, can travel from one point to another point. And of course, it is actually affected by different factors. Depends on different factors. So there are three factors, yeah, will actually will make us consider how fast and how far is it radio frequency signals can travel within our wireless LAN infrastructure site. So one of it is line of sight, the second one is interference, and the third one is environment in terms of radio frequency behavior. So for your assignment, you need to analyze the current site. For example, the current site at your home, yeah, the infrastructure that you got, you need to check. You need to analyze in terms of these three factors. Okay, so let us see one by one. We look at line of sight first. For line of sight, there are two types of line of sight. That is visual and radio frequency. All right, that is visual and radio frequency. Hold on, I forgot to silent my phone because later on disturbing. Okay, done. All right. Where am I just now? Yeah, line of sight. There are two types of line of sight. There is visual and radio frequency. What mean by visual line of sight, or LOS? All right, we look at visual first. Yeah, visual is actually you can see. Yeah, for example, the transmitter and receiver can see each other or not. For example, your laptop, yeah, you are the one who receive, yeah, and the transmitter could be from wireless router and the access point. Is it the access point and your laptop can be seen each other or not? You know, like me myself, you know, sometimes I sit next to the wireless router, so no issue. The line of sight is, you know, the visual line of sight is actually good. The ability for these devices, yeah, this transmitter and receiver can be seen. They can see each other and no obstructed view, means there's no pillar in between, you know, there's not even any obstacle, you know, maybe furniture in between. So that's what I mean by visual line of sight. Okay, that's why if you make a performance, yeah, test between a laptop, between a receiver from different places, of course the one that close, yeah, close to the transmitter, having a better performance because it can view each other, right? Another one is radio frequency line of sight. Yeah, radio frequency line of sight. We're talking about the nature of the radio frequency itself. All right. The nature of radio frequency itself means it can be affected with any issues like trees, buildings, construction area, airport. Means we are looking at the nature of the radio frequency behavior, where it can easily be affected by the availability of trees, the availability of buildings, or any other obstacles like airport, transmitter, and also construction area, right? And even the nature of the what we call it, the curvature of the earth. Maybe your housing area located at the valley, yeah. Like my current home is actually at the valley area, all right? Yeah, although it's peaceful, but in terms of wireless, yeah, it's actually we need to you know, like my case, yeah, to receive phone call is actually hard. I need to have it from you know, from WhatsApp, from data, you know, it's easily, because if we rely to the all you know, telecommunications is actually affected. Yeah, but I'm talking about wireless, no issue. At the valley side is still, as long as we can see the telecommunication tower nearby. And the last but not least factor is interference. All right, interference. When we talk about interference, any interference that can cause interruptions or distortions, yeah, issues in terms of degrading the signal, yeah, signal performance. All right, when we talk about interference, these are the example of the devices that might affect it, yeah, the signal, yeah, the signal of radio frequency, as I mentioned earlier, affected by microwave, baby monitors, and etc. All right. Any questions for the meantime? Let me just look at the current numbers. Okay, done. So it's good numbers now. So let us proceed. Right. So we have core channel and adjacent channel interference. What does it mean? For example, when you have this access point, you will configure it to certain radio frequency channel. That's why you can see like our music or our other radio station channel, it is not the same. Like Hot FM, what else? We have Mix FM, they have different channel, right? So that's the reason why it's very important for the access point channel also to be set, to be set in close or hearing range, rather than, they are actually having a similar range, a similar channel. Okay, it might actually leads to the interference, right? And also we have this other interference from other technology. For example, we have interference from wireless personal area network. When we talk about wireless personal area network, means from Bluetooth, from Zigbee, Z-Wave, this kind of interference. And for your information, if you ask me why is it leads to the interference, because Bluetooth also using 2.4 gigahertz, for example. And then we have bright sunlight interference. But this one is not affected actually, but there's a possibility. They claim there's a possibility, all right? But then based on the research, it's not actually give a big impact or big effect to, big issue to the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. But different band, yes. All right. We talk like, like X-ray. We realize on why is it we need to go to the dark room, right? Okay, next one, environment. Environment, this kind of behavior such as reflection, refraction, diffraction, scattering. For those who learned physics before, this one is like piece of cake. Yeah, you know what is reflection, you know what is refraction, diffraction, etc. But for those who never learned physics before, no issue. We have explanation here. Like reflection, normally we have a, like normally a tabletop, made from, tabletop, when it is actually the certain material, it can absorb it, but some material it cannot absorb, that's why it reflects to the other direction, right? And then we can have different type of material, as I said just now. Even we have a type of wall, type of flows, mosaic, for example, furnishing, type of furniture, right? If we are not actually handle this kind of materials properly, it might actually leads to reflection where it will decrease the signals. And that's the reason why I said it's better for us to have open space. Refraction, like glass. Normally when certain signals travel through glass, it will refract, it will still absorb, but it will refract to different side. And that's the reason why refract to the other side means something like bending. So that's why it still cause decrease or reducing the signal. Diffraction, normally we talk about tall building. Tall building like in KL area, left, right, all tall building. That's why the signal will be affected. That's why I tell you, if you are using Waze, oh my God, to be honest, I don't like to use Waze. I don't like to even to use Waze in KL area, especially within that KLCC area, because too many tall building and end up loss of signal. Yeah, it's quite common. It's not that because you don't have, good service of internet, etc. No, it's because of diffraction issue. Okay. Scattering, we can have a surface, like surface maybe like like normally like a smooth area. It can, when the signal travel on certain road, for example on flow, it can scatter. Scattered means it will go to different angle, different direction, many direction, right? And then absorption, yes, even our human body can absorb the signals as well. That's the reason why you cannot expect the signal for radio frequency can travel very fast. The availability of repeater is very important to ensure the strengthen this signal. Okay, that's why absorption may cause by certain crowd area like airport, conference hall, where we can have crowd. Yeah. Okay, so if you realize I provided you, there's a link There's a link for the video, am I right? There's a one video to explain what is scattering, what is diffraction. Please watch that video. If you are not a science stream student, if you are not from science background in your high school time, or you never learn physics, but this one, to be honest, is piece of cake for those who learn physics before. All right? Question for this before I share the radio frequency chapter, what we call it, tutorial from quizzes. Okay, so most of the concept in this chapter, yeah, you need to understand different terms related to radio frequency, and most important thing is this spectrum. Where is it? The spectrum, and also the factors that affect the performance of the radio frequency. All right, this spectrum is very important. So you can see that our Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi is actually not you know, the frequency is not that high. It's not that high like X-ray, gamma. That's why it can travel very far. The wavelength, it can travel very far. It can travel very far. All right. And another thing, you have to understand the energy. If energy is high, frequency is high, and also the wavelength is the other way around. It will be low. You cannot consider it's the same. All right. Like this one, the wavelength, the wavelength is shorter. All right. This, you know, the wavelength is shorter. All right, shorter, but not like gamma. It's high. All right, so the other way around. Okay, again, this concept we learn also in physics. Right. So any, oh, got question. Is there any inference? Then how do we? That's why we need to use access point, several number of access point to strengthen it. Remember about repeater, Mohin? Repeater, wireless repeater. If your environment having potential to be interfered with this, that's why you need to increase the number of access point. Like in APU, we have open space, but still we are using many access point, because we keep receiving complaint from students that actually they're not actually have a good wireless, etc. We don't want to be we know we don't want our students to have problem to access internet, access Wi-Fi at our APU. That's why we try very best to have an open environment and also to increase the number of access point. But of course, it may lead to high electricity bills, because you can see one access point, you can see the outage power when you research it for your assignment. Then you realize there's no win-win situation. You want to win over the good infrastructure, you need to lose some. Lose some means you need to spend so much. Okay? All right. Never mind. When you do the assignment, then you realize. All right. If no question, then I just shared the quizzes. Hold on. Let me just. Give me 5 minutes to share the link for the quiz. All right. At the same time, you just go through the radio frequency chapter. All right, class. As usual, I already shared the link and the code. So I give you around until 11:30. At 11:30 a.m. we discuss. 20 minutes. Is it okay? Is it okay or not? I will end the quiz session at 11:30 a.m. Right? Okay. All right. Congratulations for those who are able to complete it. All right. So let us discuss the answer first. Okay. So any questions before we discuss the answer? Any questions before we discuss the answer? All right. Okay. So let's just review. Mana? Not this one. Use review questions. Okay. So for the first question, I think this one is not hard. Right. Because it's logically you can understand, right? For example, this microwave, of course, is less dangerous. If it's dangerous, oh my God, we're not going to use it, or we're not going to have it at our home, right? Okay. And then most type of energy on the M spectrum, yeah, because if you compare with X-ray, X-ray is more dangerous, right? And even if you look at the spectrum, microwave is just within the range of where we use our Wi-Fi. All right. Okay. Next one. Okay, these are the spectrum that I mentioned to you, but in our slides, better, right? We even have better images to be included in the spectrum. Right, I already told you just now, radio wave, when we talk about the spectrum, yeah, it's the longest wavelength and lowest frequency. It's not that high as X-ray, gamma, right? That one is the highest frequency. The frequency 2.4 and 5 gigahertz is not that high, but it's actually, it can travel. Longest wavelength means it can travel far, right? Like X-ray, it cannot travel far. You only can take X-ray at certain room, right? Okay. Clear? Can make boom with. What's that, Oye? All right, so we proceed. Next one. So majority of you are able to answer it. Very good. The third one, infrared. Okay. Infrared, if you compare, yeah, is higher frequency and the shortest wavelength than microwave. Yes, right. We cannot set its higher than radio wave. It's actually lower. Infrared is lower. We cannot say it's longest than radio wave because infrared only can travel shorter distance. It's within personal area network, right? So that's why the most accurate answer is here. All right. Okay. Proceed. As the wavelength of light increases, wavelength of light means if it's increased, the high wavelength, all right? So what is it? Of course, the energy will decrease because when it travel far, the signal will decrease, the frequency will decrease, energy will decrease, all right? You cannot say when it travel far, frequency still increase. No, all right? But majority of you got it right. Very good. All right, next one. Select the correct order of the waves. Okay, this one you need to refer to the spectrum. All right, you need to refer to the spectrum. Of course, it's not gamma is the longest. Gamma is only can travel in short one, right? The longest one is radio. The shortest one is gamma. All right, this one you can refer to spectrum, then you get it right. That's why majority of you get it right. Next one, longest wavelength. Longest wavelength, of course, radio wave. If you answered gamma, all right. If you answered X-ray, no X-ray. We have infrared here. All right. Just imagine, we can have X-ray at the longest wavelength. Then we no need to go to hospital. We no need to go to X-ray room, right? We can take it from our home. All right. So that's why the answer is radio wave. All right. Which one has the shortest? Of course, gamma. If you compare X-ray and gamma, gamma is the shortest one because it's the last one here. All right. This one actually, this kind of question, you can refer to the spectrum. Okay. Sorry, yeah. So which sections of the spectrum is the only we can see? The only we can see, of course, the visible light. The rest you can't see. It's not that can't see. If you see it, oh my God, it's not good. All right. That's why normally when people perform X-ray, if you ever admitted to the hospital, we actually, if you are admitted to the general hospital, not the private one, they even perform X-ray at the open space. That's why they need to inform to the patient that actually around there, and even to the nurse or the staff need to be away from that place for a moment, okay? Because the patient is actually lied down there and they perform X-ray, all right? So that's not good for actually our eyes to see it. Yeah? So the visible light is related to like infrared, right? Optical fiber, etc. Okay. Which of the following electromagnetic waves have the lowest energy? Okay. Lowest energy is microwave. All right. This one is high. This one is high. This one is high. Microwave is low. Yeah. So majority of you can answer it, right? Very good. Let me check either there are question or not from all of you. Okay. All right. Next one. As the frequency of an electromagnetic wave increases, the amount of energy in that wave, of course, decrease. All right, because frequency high, frequency high, electromagnetic wave increase. Wave means it travel far. That's why the amount of energy will decrease. Increase. Sorry, my mistake. I'm not talking about the movement. Frequency increase, energy also increase. Sorry, I did not see this one. Energy and frequency is the same. It should be increased. All right, next one. All right, next one. High frequency have a high frequency, of course, having a short wavelength. Like gamma short, if it's higher than radio wave, right? That you can use that kind of example. And then select from the correct order. This one also same thing. You can refer to the spectrum. All right, low to high energy. Of course, low is radio. The high, I think this question is repeated, right? Sorry, repeated question. Okay, next one. Which of the following electromagnetic waves has the lowest frequency? Lowest frequency, of course, microwave, because the rest, all of this is high. Right, next one. Okay, wavelength and frequency are related. They are contradict to each other. If high frequency, wavelength will be low. All right. When one increase, the other will be decreased. As I mentioned just now, gamma ray is high. Yeah, but the wavelength is short. Like radio wave is low compared to gamma, but the wavelength can travel far. Right. That's why this one is the answer. Okay, next one. High frequency in electromagnetic waves equals to high energy and short wavelength. Yeah, the other way around. That's why short wavelength, but it's still high energy because frequency and energy related to each other. Okay, next one. What does FM stands for? Of course, you don't answer these two, you need to choose between these two. It's actually related to modulation, the radio. So that's why the answer is frequency modulation. Next one. Which answer choice explain what analogs mean? Analog, you cannot answer electrical. It's something like your voice. You cannot answer 0 and 1. 0 and 1 is digital. So left only mechanical and smooth and continuous data. So of course it's not mechanical. You don't tell me your voice is mechanical. So it's more on smooth. And when you talk, it's continuous. Am I right? Right. When a receiver hears two different signals on the same channel, it turns like interference. That's why I said you have to be different channel. Like if the radio station, in the same channel interfere each other. All right. So which regulatory body? All right. Okay, most of you answered it correctly. Very good. Okay. The rest is actually Telecom Malaysia is also being controlled by MCMC. They are the one who govern the regulatory body. Okay. That's why when we want to write a paper, when you want to submit a research related to telecommunication, wireless network, etc., we submit to MCMC. MCMC. Even if you have new products like router, switch, to be present, you want it to be well recognized, please submit the details at MCMC. Okay, next one. In what is it? This one is different chapter. I purposely asked because we already learned it earlier. It's kind of revision purposes. So what is it, the access point that actually provide two paths? Two paths normally mesh access point. Mesh access point. Because it's actually having a backbone, right? Okay. Okay, next one. Right. The digital signals are converted and transmitted from source to destination in form of course, radio wave frequency. It's not A, it's not C, it's not digital. All right. At 02.11, the frequency capacity. Capacity, when we talk about 802.11, of course, frequency capacity is 2.4 and 5. Not megahertz. Make sure it's gigahertz. All right. Frequency capacity in Wi-Fi is faster, but covers shorter. Shorter. We're talking about faster, of course, 5, but cover shorter area. As I said, it will be issues if we have pillar. If you have 2-story, you are actually at the upstairs room. All right. It's better you go for 2.4 if you are in upstairs room. All right. Next one. IEEE 802.11 uses frequency hotspot spectrum that provides very robust transmission. Okay, this one is true. True. Because frequency hotspot spectrum, that's correct for 802.11. That's why if there's an interference whatsoever, it's actually more on to collision avoidance. Remember the concept CSMA, not collision detection, right? Avoidance. That's why we talk about hotspot. All right. And then next one, sorry. All right, FHSS, the one that I mentioned just now, is advantageous in low cost. Low cost, yes, it's low cost. All right, that's why it's affordable for us to use Wi-Fi. All right. So visual line of sight is the ability. This one we just learned just now, right? I expect all of you got it right, but still not. But it's okay. At least majority of you got it right. Next one, adjacent channel interference when two devices in the same tune to a close. Yes, it's true. Either it's the same signal, same channel like channel 1 together, or one is channel 1, another one channel 2. That's why normally we assign the access point. Now one is channel 1, one is channel 3, one is channel 5. It is actually need to be have at least one channel in between. Okay. Which one of the following will occur when a radio frequency signal pass through tall building? So I talk about the KL area, KLCC area, diffraction just now, right? So majority of you got it right. Okay. What is it occurs when a radio frequency signal bounces on a smooth non-obstructive surface such as tabletop? Tabletop, just now we talk about reflection, right? So it's reflection. Normally, certain material we already know, certain medium we already know what kind of environment behavior. Glass is refraction. Diffraction is tall building. Yeah? This one is refraction because it can absorb, but it just tuned to different, what we call it, different align. Yeah. Okay. This one happen when a radio frequency signal strikes on uneven surface. This one is scattering. As I said, like a road, yeah, a place where you walk, yeah, a path. All right. Okay, that's about it, right? Okay, thank you very much for all of your answer. Any question? Any question before I proceed with another chapter? Or you want to have 5 minutes break? If you want 5 minutes break, you just like 5 minutes break, or you want 10 minutes break, you just like the post, or 10 minutes break or no break. Just continue, you just like the post for continue. Right? Let me know. I go for majority as usual, please. All right, class. In that case, we will continue at 12 noon. At 12 noon, we will continue the lecture again. Right? Okay. right, everyone done. I'm giving you extra 5 minutes. Sorry, I didn't realize the times is already more than 12 noon. Okay, let me just share the slide. Okay, done. All right, hold on. So any questions before we proceed, please ask before we continue with new chapter. Any questions, please ask before we continue for new chapter. Okay, this chapter, yeah, class, is the second last chapter for tests. I repeat, this chapter is the second last chapter before our test, yeah? All right, for your test, we have the first chapter review of the core concept. Second chapter, we have the wireless LAN infrastructure devices. The third chapter, we have the radio frequency fundamental. The fourth chapter, this one, yeah, this chapter, that is wireless LAN terminology and technology. And the last chapter is, we're going to do it next week, is related to wireless LAN security. Only 5 chapters for your test. All right, only 5 chapters for your test. Or is it I miss anything? Is it I miss anything or not? Correct, right? All that 5 chapter I already mentioned, right? And even if you look at our Microsoft team, right, you can see the channels. I already have channel for different chapter, except for the module introduction and overview. That one is not come out in exam, in test, yeah? We'll start from review of the core concept chapter. Okay, clear? Right, for today's chapter is about wireless LAN terminology and technology. All right, for those who want to start doing revisions or doing preparation for your test, okay, you may start, yeah? Right, so for this chapter, these are the topic that we're going to learn, right? First of all, we will learn about different modes of operations. In other words, if you want to have wireless LAN, WLAN, wireless LAN or WLAN in your what we call this, in your organization, yeah, in your SOHO, for example, how you going to implement it? Yeah, how you going to implement it? Is it you going to implement it as ad hoc? Or is it you want to implement it as infrastructure modes? Means you want to operate your WLAN, is it ad hoc or is it infrastructure? You got different option. Or you can have both, no problem. All right. Then followed with how is it the infrastructure available at your company or at your organization or at your home SOHO, small office home network, actually need to be connected to the wireless infrastructure. Is it by using passive scanning or active scanning or using both? All right. And then we will see the example of distribution system. In other words, how is it wireless infrastructure network to be implemented as through distribution system. All right, through distribution system means that distribution system is, if you still recall, we have mesh network. We have mesh network. All right, that mesh network can be implemented through distribution system. All right, and then followed with data rates, throughput, dynamic rate switching. This one is terminology. In other words, when you want to have a wireless LAN infrastructure, you must know the terms of data rates, throughput, and dynamic rate switching. I believe for data rates and throughput, you already know what are the terms, but the dynamic rate switching is something that is new to you, right? Okay, never mind. We will learn about this dynamic rate switching. Actually, the concept related to how, the movement. Either you move further from the wireless router, from the access point, or you want to move nearer. That's the concept of dynamic red switching. And the last but not least is roaming. I think you learn before about what is roaming, although it's not formally you learn about roaming, but I believe you heard about roaming concept when you use your mobile phone. Yes, it's actually similar concept. Yeah, how we actually deal with this roaming. Is it good or is it bad? Some of you might think it's bad or some of you might think it's good. So we will look at the concept later on. All right. So basically, these are the things that we're going to learn, right? So any question at the meantime? No, huh? Okay, if no, let me proceed again with the slides. All right. So these are the terms related to the infrastructure mode. Basic service rate, extended service rate, basic service set, extended service set, ESS, and also independent basic services, IBSS, all right, is the terms that we're going to learn in relations to the infrastructure mode. But this SSID is actually the one that we will learn in related to the passive and active scanning and how we connect to the wireless infrastructure. All right, so we'll start with wireless modes of operation. Okay, for wireless modes of operation, right? As I mentioned earlier, there are two modes. One is ad hoc, and another one is infrastructure mode. Okay, one is ad hoc, and another one is infrastructure mode. Okay, what's the difference? Okay, let us look at here. All right. Okay, so you can see here. All right. Let me just see my. Okay, so you can see there are two modes. All right. There are two modes. Okay, the first one is ad hoc mode. Okay, there are two modes. The first one is ad All right, class. Sorry about the technical issue. Really sorry. I mute my camera, yeah, because I'm not sure why is it the connection is not consistent. But I believe it's not because of the connection, but because of my laptop had been on since very early this morning. All right. It's not since this 6 o'clock in the morning. It's, you know, very, very early in the morning. I already on it until now. Maybe that's why it's automatically, you know, turn off, yeah, restart. Okay, but no issue. Let me just continue with our lecture just now. Sorry, as I had mentioned in the very first week, yeah, technical issues may happen during online classes. So as I mentioned, I will inform you about what we need to do if any issue happen. Right? If I did not inform anything, you just wait. All right? So thank you for waiting for me. Yeah, waiting for me to return to the online class. All right, so let us continue again. All right. Our class should end at 12:45. Huh? Still got time, no issue. Right. So continue back to the slide. And just share again the lecture slide. Okay. All right, done. Okay, there you go. So we're stopped until the terminology just now. No, not terminology, the different mode. Yeah, different mode. Okay, where's my digital pen? All right. So the no, this one. Okay, hold on. Right, so we have two modes. Either it's ad hoc, and another one is infrastructure mode. Okay, so for ad hoc, it's only this one, IBSS, Independent Basic Service Mode. That is only ad hoc, right? What it means by Independent Basic Service Mode, you can see the figure down here. Yeah, it's just like peer-to-peer concept. Remember, not peer-to-peer concept, where all the end device can be server, can be client at the same time, no issue. Equality. So in other words, they are not having access point. No access point. No access point. So we can say that this, this laptop having its own hotspot, this wireless station having its own hotspot, they are actually connecting to each other. Or you can say that they are actually having a concept of sharing file through Bluetooth, sharing file through, WLAN. No issue. That is independent basic service set for the ad hoc mode, right? The second one, this one is the first one. The second one is infrastructure mode. What is infrastructure mode? Is these two. It's involving basic service set and also extended service set. It is very simple. For basic service set, the access point only one access point. So we have backbone. Backbone is wired network to be connected with the access point, and then all the end devices, yeah, like laptop, mobile, printer, etc., will be connected to this access point, for example. While the extended is more than one. One, two. We can have even 3. We can have even 4. No problem. Because whatever more than one access point, we no longer call it basic service set, but we call it extended service set. Clear? All right. Next one. Wireless LAN mode of operation, IBSS. This one is independent basic service set. As I mentioned just now, it is standalone, no backbone. We don't have this wired infrastructure. When I said no backbone, it means that no wired infrastructure. No wired infrastructure. Not no wife, no wired. Infrastructure in place. In that case, no centralized control. Yeah, means that we hardly to have security features to be managed. We hardly to have a control on, over certain devices. So these are three different figures to explain how independent basic service set, or what we call it, how ad hoc modes looks like, right? Second one is the what are the details, the details or the common parameters that you need to understand when we want to have independent basic service set. In other words, if you're having laptop, you're having your tab, or you're having a mobile phone and you want to join this kind of operation, wireless operation mode, that is ad hoc mode, you just need to have these three things in place. First is SSID. It means that which SSID you need to be connected to. Some of you might ask me, Miss, what is SSID? SSID normally is just like at your home, even in APU. If you click your, what we call it, you click your, you want to find out what are the what are the Wi-Fi. Normally we use this term. Hey, what Wi-Fi to connect? Which Wi-Fi? What's the Wi-Fi name? You mention it that way, right? But that's actually SSID. Like for example, in APU we have APU Wi-Fi keys. What else? We have APU gaze. All right, but at your home, of course, you have your own SSID, right? SSID normally you have SSID for 2.4 gigahertz. You have also different SSID for 5 gigahertz. So which one you connect, you can switch, right? That's what I mean by a service set identifier. Is the identifier or the name of the Wi-Fi that you need to connect to, or the name of wireless LAN that you need to connect to. All right. Then the next one, of course, radio frequency channel. Right, if you are connecting to your home Wi-Fi, it can be 2.4 and even 5. In APU also we have these two, right? Even if you're using Bluetooth, that is 2.4 frequency. And last but not least, security configuration. It means that you need to have your own configuration. Configuration means your computer, your laptop, your mobile phone, whatever end devices that you have, you must include with your security implementations such as antivirus, personal firewall, and etc. All right, so I already talked about SSID just now. That is the name of services set to be identified to identify the wireless network. In other words, you want to identify what wireless network or what VLAN you want to connect to, you need to find out the name. And that name is what we refer as SSID. All right. So if you want to be part of that particular VLAN, especially independent basic service set, and even if you connect to basic service set or extended, same thing, we will use SSID to be connected. All right. And from the client side, of course, you need to configure what you need to configure. Normally, you need to provide password. Am I right? And then you need to set which SSID you need to connect to. Yeah. All right. Next one. Okay. And another thing, if there's a certain SSID that allow or being set to broadcast, it means that's what we refer to open networks. Mean you just can connect it without actually having a limitation. Means you are not actually need to provide password, etc., because it is a kind of open networks. But again, this one, be careful. Be careful, be careful. You might actually connect to certain SSID that not requested or not asking about password. But be careful, it might be an honeypot. You know, honeypot is a trap. It's a trap where actually certain people want to launch certain attack to any end devices that connect to them. So be careful, right? And that's the reason why it's very, very important. If you want to connect to SSID, there must be a wireless security measurement in place. I believe you already learned in intro to networking where, yes, we can use WEP, what we call it, WEP. We use what there's a lot of security setting. You already learned before in your packet tracer. Am I right? You can set a wireless, call it, when you set SSID name, you can choose what kind of security setting you can have, yeah, like even the OY we can have WPA as well, and then we have the you know, there's an option. I'm not actually prepared to screenshot from your packet tracer. Maybe during next class I will have the packet tracer, yeah, because limited time now. If not, I just open my packet tracer and show where we can set the SSID, yeah, sorry, the password and the security setting. And the channel also I already mentioned. You need to understand we can have different channel. Either you want to go for 2.4 gigahertz or you want to go for 5 gigahertz. So you need to be understand when it comes to IBSS. All right, IBSS, if it's independent or if it's ad hoc, make sure every devices in a common IBSS means that common frequency. If everyone using 2.4, that is 2.4 and communicate at the same channel. Yeah, if everyone set to channel 1, then you need to be in channel 1. All right, this one is independent, but basic service set and extended, we're not going to see it yet today. All right, and then security, as I mentioned, no backbone, no device to be assigned as a controller, and that's why no centralized control and no security management features. The security features only at the end devices side or on the client side. Is not being responsible to certain party. Everyone who join this kind of network need to know their own responsible to prepare their own devices with the security features. But of course, it's not a management features where you can manage other devices security features. All right, so it's left to the individual user device to set it. All right, so that's the reason why in every in certain organization, IBSS, they are not allowed it. Or some company, they have security policy, they set ad hoc, not allowed. In APU, we need to check. We need to check our student handbook, our security setting. Is it allowed for us to share file using Bluetooth or not? Using a peer-to-peer or not? Yeah. And for your information, in my case, I never did that. I never did that because I lazy to check. Lazy to check with this. I lazy to read the security policy in APU, but I know it's not good. That's why I don't want to perform that using any APU devices, yeah, and also any APU Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi connection. All right. Okay. This basic service set, as I mentioned, right? As I mentioned, it needs to have one access point. One access point. So when we have this one access point, this is what we call as infrastructure mode and also known as distribution system. So the good thing of what it means by infrastructure mode and what it means by distribution system means, yeah, they will be, it allowed, all right, allowed connected wireless devices to access network resources based on permission. Means there's a certain level of control in place. So all that basics, so this basic service set actually consists a basic service area. Basic service set consists basic service area. This is the basic service area, and this one is the devices, yeah, that actually belongs to basic service area that connect to this one particular access point, right? And of course, important thing such as SSID, security setting, whatever that we have in independent still need to be remain there. But it's just that the good thing, yeah, we have security management control over this BSA area. And extended, as I said, more than one. Yeah, more than one. So we can have more than one basic service set. So the area, basic service area will be larger compared to the basic service area of the basic service set, yeah, of that one particular access point. And when we talk again about basic service set, of course, the concept of distribution system and concept of infrastructure mode is in place, right? And one thing you have to understand, the basic service area for each basic service set will overlap. So you can see that if we have one backbone, yeah, one backbone with many access point. For example, okay, and then this backbone, when I said it's connect to the switch, for example, switch. This one port 1, port 2, port 3. This is the backbone, all right. The switch, and then this one is the basic service set of basic service area. They can overlap. This one overlap. So that's why roaming concept will be there. Because you move from here, is it need to be connected with this access point or this access point? That is roaming concept where we going to learn in future. Like this. I forgot that we have this diagram. This is overlap. All right. Okay, so I stop until here. Next week, we're going to see passive scanning and etc. Don't worry so much. Next week is still week number 6. Yeah, week number 6. We're still on time to settle all the chapters. All right. Before you leave for your mid-semester break. Yeah, no issue. Any question before I'll take attendance?
Excuse me, Miss.
Yes.
Do you have any supposed video? The video that you recommend for this week?
Yes, got. I will share after I take attendance. All right.
Okay, thank you.
I forgot to share. Got. Hold on. Don't worry. You can just go through. Hold on. Every week I got a selection video from YouTube. No problem. Okay, I will share in the meeting chat. So let me focus on taking attendance first, yeah. Just a while. Because I'm worried it will be disconnect again. Sometimes I cannot rely on this laptop, you know. Because to be honest, if APU want to provide a laptop for us, this for your information, 13 years I'm teaching in APU. 13 years I'm teaching APU. This is the third laptop they provided me, the third one. So it seems like 3 to 4 years they will give us the new one. 3 to 4 years they will give us the new one. So I think you divide 13 years with 3 laptop. I think yeah, I need to have another one, yeah, the 4th one. Okay, but not sure. But I already requested when they will provide. Maybe when we're back campus, I don't know. We'll check first. So lecture. The good thing in working in APU, they will give us the laptop, but it's just that when is it? Yeah, between 3 to 4 years, right? Because you know the capability of laptop is not as good as desktop, right? Even 3 years depends on what type of laptop. It might actually start to give you a problem, especially when you use it every day, you know. And further, when we talk about online teaching is not only every day. Sometimes within that 24 hours, it's not that we switch on our laptop just for 2 hours, right? At least one day, we will open it 8 hours within office hours time, right? Sometimes I feel guilty to off it during lunch hour time. Because if I off it during lunch hour time, and yet it's just 1 hour, so we just let it remain there, all right? And then, and of course, we need to on this laptop as well to do marking, consultation, everything rely on it. That's why I cannot expect when it suddenly shut down on its own, I hope you all understand. It's not that the technical problem is I purposely want it to be, All right, so very good. Still got 11 students need to take your attendance. So let me just look for the link for the videos. Hold on. So while waiting for that, actually, if you do not have any other question, you may leave while I'm sharing the link for the video. Hold on, where I put it. it should be in the material for mobile wireless technology. Or any other question besides the request for the video link? On mobile wireless technology link. Which folder? Which folder? This folder. So we are doing week 5 wireless LAN. Okay. Let me check first. I open the document first. I'm worried it's different chapter. Just hold on. Let me check before I share to the meeting chat. Or any other question besides that, maybe please ask. Please ask if you got question. Miss, can you help me? Oh, okay, Laurentus. Who else? Laurentus, Mali Fong. When I write down Mali Fong, Laurentus. Okay, who else? Let me check. Okay. Oh, there's a question. Okay. Oh yeah, object oriented. Okay, update to. I'm Windows 11. Wait, we cannot simply update Hong Yi. We cannot simply this one because this one is under APU. Let them decide. Then we just follow them, follow the instruction. If my own, yeah, maybe I can just simply do. And then does cell hotspot counts as SSID? Yes. Cell hotspot. What actually you want to ask, Ajani? You want to set the hotspot name, is it? The hotspot name. Yes. If the hotspot name, that is the SSID as well. All right. Yes, for example. Very good, Mohin. Thank you very much, Mohin. Okay. So only two, Mali Fong and Lawrence's. Okay, later I update. Okay, yes, we have a link for this video. Only 2 video. One is about ad hoc and also infrastructure. Another one is about passive and active scanning. Let me just share the link in the meeting chat. There you go. Useful links. Useful links for the YouTube video link for those who want to watch the video related to this. Okay, that's about it, Lawrence's and Mali Fong. After I end up this session, then I'll update the attendance. Yeah, just inform me in case after maybe 10 minutes time. Yeah, you still don't get it as present. All right, class. That's about it. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Take care. And see you again this Friday for assignment clinic number 1 this Friday. All right, as I promise you, assignment clinic number 1. You're most welcome. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, Miss.
Welcome.